Show on My Country 99.3 WCON. Presented by Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland. From NASCAR to local tracks, it's everything you need to know with your host, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame announcer, Charles Head.
Well, hi there and welcome. We are so glad to have you here on this Thursday night. We're going to talk a lot of racing. We're going to talk a lot of racing history. We got Debbie Lunsford Love here and her husband Mike Love. I say, hey, Mike. We are excited to have everybody here tonight. Debbie, what an honor it is to have the two of you in the studio.
Oh, thank you very much, Charles. We're happy to be here.
Well, it's going to be a fun night. Mike, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I'm gassed up and ready to go.
Gassed up and ready to go. Logan Bennett is here with us as well. Logan, what you got going on tonight?
I'm just glad to be back in the saddle. It's been a minute since we've been here, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it has. It's been a while, and hopefully everything's going to go well tonight. We're looking forward to it. We got a great show for you. Got a lot of outstanding guests we're going to be talking to. Got some giveaways. Get by those phones. We're going to be doing that as well. Right now, it's time to take a little music break. Let's talk about some Florida-Georgia line. Here is Cruise.
All right.
Okay, now we're on Facebook. How about that? People on the radio are hearing music, and we're on Facebook. So Logan's going to be getting Eli Reese on. We're going to be talking to him in just a minute, I think. Logan will let us know whenever that time comes.
Yep.
So anyway, we got Debbie Lunsford Love and Mike Love here. And those of you that don't know them, shame on you for number one. But if you don't know them, oh my goodness, what a world of racing history we've got sitting in this studio right now. Debbie, as far as I know, is the only female to ever run a Busch Series race in the state of Georgia. How many Busch races did you run?
3, I think.
3. And you were sponsored by Nestle's Chilled Beverages at the time. Is that correct?
The Busch car was sponsored by Nestea.
Nestea, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you always had the Nestle's Quick car.
Yeah,
all
that
the kids,
was the late model.
Yeah, all the kids loved that late model car. And Mike Love, what can you say about him? NASCAR regional champion. If you could do it in the world of NASCAR short track racing, Mike Love did it. And so good to have you. How many wins do you have, Mike? Did you ever count them up?
About 450s to 5, somewhere in there.
I got a feeling probably more than that. It's probably more than that.
Not many.
Now, if you don't know this, that Lunsford name, I know that is familiar to many folks out there. Debbie's dad was Bud Lunsford, and what a great man. 1149? What?
39.
1139. He should have been 49. Golly, Bud should have run 10 more. He would have won them all if he had. Anyway, it was such a privilege to work for all these folks for so many years at Lanier Raceway. What a great time we had, and I don't know if I've told you this or not, but when I was growing up, we were at Tacoma Speedway, and Bud came through with his helmet taking up money for one of the drivers that had a death in his family or medical, you know how drivers always do. And Daddy punched me on this, and he said, that's the driver of the gold car. I wasn't even old enough to know what numbers were. I didn't even know. I couldn't recognize 49, but I knew the gold car. And I looked up at him and said something to him, and he looked at me and smiled. And I thought, that's the only driver who'd ever noticed me. And to get to work in the tower with him at Lanier after being my childhood idol was just that was the icing on the cake. That was great times. Where are we at, Logan? What we got going on?
We still got a minute of music left. I got Eli on the line. We are good to go.
Okay, good. Thanks. So you got so many memories at Lanier. Are your memories there with the track, or are they driving, or some of the great stars that came through, like Earnhardt Night? What is one of your favorite memories?
I would have some favorites from all of those. Racing, specific races, and then having the drivers there like Earnhardt and Bill, and we had a lot of them. Tried to get all we could.
Yeah.
And then just running the track, being around my mom and dad every day, we had some really good times, and then we struggled through the bad times. But it's great to work with your family, especially it was for me.
Yeah. I remember the only track I ever worked at, where on a Saturday night I'd go in the office and Laquita would say, well, you did such a good job tonight. Here's an extra $50. I never had anybody want to hand me extra money. Usually it was saying, we had an off crowd. Can you do us a little favor and not charge so much? Yes, sir.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, stand by. We're going to act like we know what we're doing. We're going back on radio, so y'all hang tight here.
Here we go.
The Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And we're back now. It's time for our first guest. Logan, who we got on the line?
Got Eli Reese on the line.
Eli Reese. Oh, man, what a great job Eli's done. He has put that thing in victory lane. Eli, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I know you're at practice right now, right?
Yes, sir. I don't have my car up here, but I'm just helping a couple friends out.
Who you got helping tonight?
I'm with James Nash, and I'm here watching with my buddy Kevin Stevens as well.
Oh, Kevin's there. Oh, man, that's a name that we all know and
That's
love.
right.
Is Kevin Stevens? That's for sure. So, Eli, I got to meet you a couple of weeks ago. You've got some wins under your belt now. You've done really well. I'm excited to see what's going on for you in that late model 602 race.
Yes, sir. I've been doing very, very well here recently. Running at Hartwell and Tacoma and Livonia, and just now I've got back about a month and a half ago from college. You know, I'm a full-time college student athlete. I play baseball in college, and so I just now have got back into the groove of everything I got going. So yeah, now we're full swing race mode for the rest of the summer.
Well, I think these folks know your granddad, George Reese. We have seen him over the years. So how is it to grow up in a racing family? Debbie Lunsford Love grew up in a racing family. And so how is it for you growing up in a racing family?
I mean, it's awesome hearing so many different stories. You know, I've heard them not only from them, but other people as well. And I also like to brag on them. You know, ultimately, I think we've been pretty successful. I don't like to brag too much, but I do like to brag on them because I'm very proud of them. You know, it's an honor to come through the family, and yeah, so they've had their fair share of success, and now I'm just trying to live up to that in any type of way. You know, even if I can have a fraction of what they were able to do, it'd be pretty great career for me.
I think we've all got some George Reese stories. Some of them probably for air, and probably some of them not for air. But anyway, we all know George and have been around his racing program for a long, long time. You started racing several years back, and like you said, you went off to college and did some things like that. So we saw you a few years back with limited success. But man, this time in the car, you've done well.
Yes, sir. So I mean, the first time I was in the car, I really didn't have any lap time or seat time at all. I've never raced anything, not go-karts, that was my first time behind the wheel of a race car at all, and that was a older race car, and it did its purpose. It got me on the track, you know, and stuff like that, and then we got this car that we've had for about a year now, and ran it limited amount of time last summer, you know, only was able to run in the 602. I was running 602, but I only got to run like 5 total races all summer and stuff like that. And now this summer, you know, after running those 5 races and being to a practice or 2, we've gotten it dialed in now, and I've figured a whole lot of things out about driving and stuff like that. So.
Hey, Eli, this is Debbie. What do you think is your most fond memory of your granddad racing?
Well, I wasn't there for a lot of it. You know, he raced for years and years and years, and so I wasn't around for a lot of it. But in 2013, I believe at that time I was 10 years old,
Yeah.
or 9. I was 9 years old, and he was in his 60s. I think 67 years old, and he won the Georgia State Championship race in the 602 division at 67 years old. And,
Awesome.
So that's one of my most fond ones that I've been to see. You know, maybe one of the ones I've heard is he had this real fast race car, and I believe it was a Ford car. He was driving for Grady Holsey.
Oh, yeah.
And he went down to this racetrack, and he pulled out on the track and for practice, and he about lapped the whole dang field in practice, and he pulled in, and they were looking at his race car and trying to find out what was wrong with it. But I mean, it was a legal race car, and they had him change a few things and go out for the race, and he still blistered them. They said to put that car on the trailer and never come back there, and they weren't paying him to win. They never wanted to see him again.
Sounds like a Bud Lunsford move, doesn't it? Hey, Eli, hang on. We got to take a quick break and come back. You good with that?
Yes, sir. That'll be good.
All right, Eli Reese is our guest. We got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Do you remember as a kid riding along with your Tonka toys, dozer, and dump trucks? Well, that childhood memory can come to real life at Simpson Trucking and Grading. Now, Simpson is looking for men and women who want to work and who know the value of a hard day's work and who want to get paid well for doing it. If you're open to a new career in the trucking or heavy equipment field, contact Simpson Trucking and Grading on Candler Road in Gainesville or give them a call, 770-536-4731. That's 770-536-4731. Simpson Trucking and Grading wants you.
Smith Tire and Alignment in Livonia is helping My Country fill their tire needs. Adam Smith and his staff can fix your brakes, change your oil, and perform other light mechanic work. But tires are what Smith Tire and Alignment is all about. All major brands are available at Smith Tire and Alignment. From routine maintenance to tires. Stop by and see what Smith Tire and Alignment can do for you. Located on Jones Street in Livonia. Just look for the big number 14 race car on the pole.
For the last 30 years on the Champ Racing Show, I've been telling folks about Napa Auto Parts and that great Napa know-how. Now there are even more locations for great aftermarket and genuine replacement parts to serve you. Napa Auto Parts stores are located in Toccoa, Clayton, Cornelia, Commerce, Jefferson, Elberton, and Hartwell in Georgia. And in South Carolina, find Napa stores in Westminster, Walhalla, Seneca, Easley, and 2 locations in Anderson. The best parts at the best prices. Napa Auto Parts and that unmistakable Napa know-how.
Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Stay out of the kitchen on race day and race on over to Los Amigos instead. Their authentic Mexican cuisine will satisfy every craving. Their burritos are jam-packed with flavor and fresh ingredients, not to mention crispy taquitos, loaded nachos, and all your other Mexican favorites. Enjoy live entertainment on the weekends and karaoke every Thursday night. Los Amigos is open 7 days a week on Big A Road in Toccoa.
You know what Debbie and I don't do anymore? Clean our pool. That's because we've hooked up with Aquabot of Georgia. The Aquabot robotic pool cleaner is #1 in pool cleaning technology. This amazing robotic technology maps the pool floor, scrubs and microfilters your water down to 2 microns, saving you time and money on expensive chemicals and water. You simply plug in the tangle-free power cord, drop it in the pool, and walk away to enjoy your free time. That's it. Stop by Aquabot of Georgia in Gainesville at Chastain Janitorial and see our friends Shane and Debbie Chastain. They'll hook you up. They've served North Georgia for 30 years. Check them out at aquabotofgeorgia.com. Your pool cleaning days are over.
It's a summer sizzler this Saturday night at Livonia Speedway. They're going topless. That's right. The limited late models will take their tops off so you can see the drivers working out wheel to win $1,500. But that's not all the big payouts. Get this. 602 late models pay $1,000 to win. The modified street winner will pocket $700. Open wheel modifieds will be racing for $700 to win. Stock cage drivers will vie for $400 to win. It's also $400 to the winner of the stock 4 race. And the top dog in the front wheel drives also take home $400. Plus, the Young Guns winner will capture $300. All this great racing action will kick off Saturday night at 7 at Livonia Speedway, the fastest 3/8 mile track in North Georgia.
It's pedal to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Eli Reese is our guest right now, and Eli, I think Debbie's got a question for you.
Yeah, Eli, who sponsors your car and who helps you keep it up, helps you at the racetrack, and so on?
Well, I'll go through my list of sponsors right now. Kevin Stevens over at Holsey Auto Parts, Gus Simpson Trucking and Grading, David Smith Carburetors, Northeast Georgia Concrete, Little Italy Pizza there in Gainesville, Senior Fiesta, Tao Diesel, CW Demolition and Construction, Hilton Graphics, Nash Motorsports, and Kenny Harris Grading. And,
You did a good job remembering all those.
I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. I do it because I really appreciate all their help. They help a whole lot, as well as the people who keep my race car up. You know, number one, my father and my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
They're huge. They play such a huge role helping me with the race car. It wouldn't be possible without them, as well as my brother Jacob, my mama, little Jacob, Justin, Big Larry, Hayward, John. With all of them, they all do such a big part. It would not be possible without them. It really would not. I really can't say thank you enough, and I hope I've made them feel appreciated. I'm going to keep trying to do it because they really do make such a big difference. They're one heck of a pit crew, and I think they've opened people's eyes themselves. So.
Sure. sure.
Well,
Yeah.
Eli, you got a stellar group of sponsors there, man. That's a good group of folks you got behind you. That's a lot of great names in the world of racing in that group of sponsors. We want to thank you for being on the program. Where are you going to run this weekend, by the way?
Absolutely. I plan to run Hartwell on Friday night and then at Livonia Saturday night.
Okay. Well, good deal. Well, listen, hope you have as good a luck as you had last weekend. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. It'd be pretty great.
All right, Eli, thank you so much for being on the program with us.
Good luck, Eli.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yeah, Eli Reese has been our guest. Right now, it's time to go to a little Shania Twain. Here she is talking about, that don't impress me much on My Country 99.3 WCON. Here's Shania. All right, so now we're on Facebook. So we were talking during the commercial break about Jonathan Davenport, and I kind of mentioned to Debbie, I said another driver that kind of took that 49, because that was Debbie's number 40, of course Bud's number 2. And Mike, tell the story about what you were telling me about 49.
Well, when he come out of the Legends car, he went up to, the late model deal on asphalt, and he run maybe a third of the season, and him and his dad come down there and told Debbie, said, you can have your number back, we're going to dirt. And I believe that was the right decision.
Yeah, well, he went to dirt, but of course he kept 49, and man, I don't know when Superman got tagged on him. I asked him one time who gave him that Superman moniker, but anyway, he certainly proved it. Man, at Eldora, that was his third dream. That's just pretty outstanding. The guy just knows how to get around the racetrack. And I was talking with his wife when they were in Bristol. We were texting back and forth. It was exciting for him to get all the notoriety he did when he ran that dirt race at Bristol.
Oh, yeah. He's phenomenal. He's done a great job.
Yeah, he's done really well. And I always tell this story. When he started running Legends at Lanier, and I was talking to him one day, and I said, your granddaddy's got all these great race cars. I said, dirt cars. I said, when are you ever going to run dirt? Oh, I'll never. He's a little kid. I'll never run dirt. Asphalt's for me. And if you remember his brother Chris, that ran as well? They alternated the car. When the Legends car started, one would drive it one week and one would drive it the next week. And Chris actually seemed to be the better driver than Jonathan back when they first started out. But I don't know what Chris is doing now, but I know what Jonathan's doing. Winning a lot of races and a lot of money. And we're going to get to this in results. We'll do this on radio too. But man, Bubba Pollard last night, they had Carson Hocevar and Eric Jones were supposed to be the big dogs at that race last night in Berlin. They were supposed to be the favorites, and Bubba Pollard wound up winning that thing. Oh, Bubba, you can put him anywhere, and he'll win a race. I'm excited for him, too.
Yeah, Bubba's a good wheel man, as they say.
Yeah. He certainly is, no question about that. I've been privileged. Opp, Alabama was one of the great racetracks in Montgomery that I've announced that Bubba was winners at. Just a lot of fun to see him at those racetracks. Man, he can just read a racetrack better than anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Mike, were you good at that, reading a racetrack, going to a new track and reading it? I know you raced at Myrtle Beach. You raced at a lot of different racetracks over the years.
Well, what I did, I watched all the classes, no matter, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, all of them, and saw where they run, and then I tried to sort of run where they was running. But most of the time, whoever's been there, they'll find the fastest place on the racetrack to race. So I just sort of winged it like that right there.
You were running, you ran the All-Pro race at Myrtle Beach, and I was announcing that race, and that was a NASCAR All-Pro race. I was announcing that race, and Earnhardt Jr. and Kelly and Kerry were all three in that late model race.
I got a good story about that.
Yeah.
Film at that racetrack.
Well, and I tell you what, Dale Jr. hit everybody on the racetrack. Bill Hennessy and I were announcing that race, and I looked at Hennessy off the microphone, and I said, he is an insult to the Earnhardt name. He is pitiful. Kerry was better than he was, and Kelly was a whole lot better than he was.
Yeah.
But now look at him. I mean, he's kind of a force in the NASCAR
I think
world.
he made it, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think he figured out a way around the track without hitting everybody. Yeah. But anyway, that goes back. That's been a year or two ago, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What's your story about Earnhardt?
Well, I think it was the last time he came to Lanier.
You're talking about Dale Sr.
Dale Sr., right. And he ran the match race with Mike later. But he was sitting in Dad's office. I was behind my desk. He was on the couch. And it gave me a whole new perspective on Earnhardt Sr. He was a really, really good guy off the track. He was just had a heart of gold. On the track, it's business. But he was sitting there, and he was just talking. He said, I don't know what's going to happen with Junior and Kerry. He said, I think they're going to kill one of each other. And he said, you know what? He said, Kelly's the best driver of all of them.
Well, I kind of felt that way. I was, when Junior, became a big deal, and Budweiser sponsored him and all that. I mean, they had a thing up at what they call the Garage Mahal, and they invited me to it. And
Who do you got for our second guess? Will Harris. All right.
yeah, Will. See, that's Mike's nephew. So, nephew? Yeah, nephew. Yeah. Will, that's going to be a fun interview, Mike. We're going to let you grill old Will. Anyway,
There you go.
So everybody, I mean, the press is all fawning over Junior, you know, and they're up there, and Dale's just sitting over the table by himself. So I just go over there and sit with Dale, and we sat there and talked for about an hour and a half, just me and him talking. And one of the nicest, the Intimidator, that was his brand. He had to do that on the track, and he had to do that. But Shane Hall, you know, I worked with Shane for a while, and he would come drive Shane's car and pull it in and tell him, here's what you need to do to it, because Shane didn't really know what to do. He would drive cars for a lot of guys, and you had no idea Earnhardt was in the car testing it out for him on practice days to see what was going on. And how long we got, Logan?
We still got a minute and a half. We're good.
Okay, and I'll tell this story. I was announcing in Atlanta, and I was interviewing Earnhardt on front straightaway for some reason or another. We were just out there, just me and him. And he said, what side do you want me to stand on? I said, what? He said, what side is more comfortable for you for me to stand on? And I said, nobody's ever asked me that. Yeah. So I realized on my right was, and I thought, well, here's the Intimidator, and he's worried about me being comfortable interviewing him. What a great guy, you know? Yeah, he was a lot different than his persona led on always.
Definitely.
Good guy, yeah.
So you could back both of them up, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Track and off the track.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember Jeff Gordon told this story, and he said that he was at some track, and he said he was on the wheel. He said, man, we were running wide open, and he said, I was on the wheel, and I was passing Dale, and he said, I looked over at Dale, and he had his arm up, and he went, hey. And he said, I am stressing out, and here's Earnhardt just laid back. Hey, bud.
That's him.
Oh my gosh, we got stories all night long. Audio needs tuned. I don't know what to do about that. I've got it turned up as high as it'll go, guys.
I can try and bring it up here over on the board if you want to put their headphones down just a little bit.
We can put all of us down.
Let's do a little bit this week, and we still got 20 seconds.
Yeah, let's see if that y'all adjust if you need to. We got separate adjustments over here, so we're good to go.
All right.
All right, good. Thank you. Hopefully that'll fix it, Wesley. Let's hope that gets good.
All right. T-minus 10.
What are we doing?
We're going straight to our guest, too, Will.
Oh, Will. Okay, good deal.
Willie boy.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap. Presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And joining us on the program right now, driver who got a win a couple of weeks back at Windermere Speedway, and we have been holding off till now. Obvious reasons will come up in just a minute on having Will Harris on the program. Will, how you doing tonight?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I got somebody here that you may not want to know all the answers to the questions that Mike Love has for you tonight. I got a feeling he's going to ask you some tough ones.
Oh, there's no telling what he's going to ask.
All right. So, Mike, it's up to you. What do you want to ask Will about that win at Winder?
Oh, Will, of course, everybody knows, I guess it was there, that you backed it in the fence, hot lapping, and went up the hill, and y'all thrashed and hammered on that thing and got it back. And, you know, you won the race. And then the next week, they showed a picture of your car, no motor, no nothing. It was going back to have a clip put on it. But y'all might have hit on something with that fuel cell knocked over and all.
Yes, sir. I was getting out there when we started warming up. I felt the car a few times. I was like, oh, racetrack seems to be pretty good. And when we took the green, I just really overestimated the corner there. And you've seen the rest of it when we were going up the hill. But I got to thank, the guys there every week that work in the shop and everything, help get the car ready. My dad, of course, and you got Rick and Terry, Benton, Brown. He comes by sometimes, helps work. And a guy that works with my dad now, he's a younger guy. He just has started this old racing ordeal helping out. His name's Joseph. He's been a real big help, everything. But, yeah, we got it stripped, just to have it set on the jig, make sure everything checks out, and there's a couple of things we're going to update on it and see if we can make it that much faster.
Well, now, is this the new car? Is this the one you got from Gus?
Yes, sir. It comes from Gus and Jeffrey Lamp.
Yeah, okay. Now, that's the one that Blake won in at Livonia a few weeks back, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me ask you about this evolution of numbers. You started out with your number. You went to the 25, a throwback look of Mike Love's car back a few years back. Now you're in a number 2 car. So tell me about all these numbers that you come up with.
So when I very first started, our very first race car that my dad built for me, it was actually number 47. That was the number that he used on the cars that when, the drivers didn't have their number, he would always use 47. And I wanted to, carry that tradition on. And then we ended up, we had a rocket car that Benji Cole drove there for a while, and it had the 121 on it. And we never changed the body on it. So for, I think, like half a season, it was 121. And then growing up, being around the race cars all the time, when it was probably, I think Roy started driving in 2007 or 8. And that's when I was able to, start going and everything. And his number was 21.
Right.
And when we got our new rocket car, and this was in 2017, I think, it was, I told Dad that I wanted to be 21. And then that would be my number for me to have. And that's what we've been with. And when we got this car from Jeffrey, it just had that body on it. And we just decided to race it with it, just to see, how that car was. And I guess to test it, to see what it has.
Gotcha. Well, that's interesting. Benji, when he started out, was a 21. When he first started racing, he was 21. Not the 121. They added that a little later.
He was 21.
Yeah, Benji started out as a 21 car. Whenever he was racing at Toccoa, just as starting out in, Enduro or whatever it was, he was a 21. And then later they added the 121 to it, so that's how all that came about. Hey, Will, we got to take a quick break. Can you hang on a minute?
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a break and come back. Will Harris is our guest. We got more to come. Jackie Jones is our sponsor of the Champ Racing Show right here on My Country 99.3 WCON.
The open road, it's filled with twists and turns, hills and valleys. However, what lies beyond that open road? A Jeep owner knows, because they go beyond the road to places that only a Jeep could take them. Right now, you can take advantage of unheard rebates and discounts at Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Van, with all Jeeps in stock below invoice because Jackie Jones is overstocked with new Jeeps. That's Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Van in Cleveland. The best price every time. Period.
How many times as a kid did you pull your arm down and yell, "Blow the horn," at truckers you'd see on the highway, wanting them to blow their horn? What if you were that driver and some kid was making that same memory looking at you? That's what's available to you right now as a team member at Simpson Trucking and Grading. Big trucks, big salaries, big deal. And it's just waiting for you at Simpson Trucking and Grading. If you are open to a new career in the trucking or heavy equipment field, contact Simpson Trucking and Grading on Candler Road in Gainesville, or give them a call, 770-536-4731. That's 770-536-4731. Simpson Trucking and Grading wants you.
What's this yellow stuff on my car?
It's that time of year. If pollen is all over your car, what better solution than the $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash? Ask for the Champ Show Car Wash, and you'll get it for just $5.
What's this red stuff on my car?
Well, if you visit the local dirt track, then you might just need to head over to Bulldog Car Wash and ask for the Champ Show $5 car wash. Yes, it's happening every day, just $5 for a car wash, but you have to ask for it. Make sure to request your Champ Show $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash across from McDonald's in Toccoa.
M&M Used Cars in Jefferson has a great selection of late model full-size trucks. Check out their extensive truck inventory, full-size diesel and gas models from which to choose. If you're looking for a low mileage, late model full-size truck, chances are they have exactly the one meant for you at M&M Used Cars. Check out the extensive inventory at MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. That's MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. Or stop by at 1312 Washington Street in Jefferson and see them in person. Apply for credit right on the website. 24-hour chat available as well. M&M Used Cars in Jefferson.
I just got to tell you about the folks at J&C Auto Care in Toccoa. My truck was blowing oil all over the place. Well, I took it to several places who just couldn't figure out what was going on. But Jason and Clay knew exactly what to do. And you know why? They've been voted the best repair shop in Toccoa 2 years running. They're locally owned and operated. Check them out at 70 Mize Road in Toccoa. J&C Auto Care.
For all your welding and safety equipment needs at Safety Plus in Cornelia, Wendell and Pat Norden can supply you with the best equipment in the industry. Miller and Lincoln Welders, Victor Torches, gloves, fire extinguishers, and personal protective equipment, all in stock at Safety Plus in Cornelia. They have everything to keep you and your work environment safe and under control. Safety Plus is located on Cannon Bridge Road. Safety Plus, a proud sponsor of racetracks and drivers in our area. Dirt Tracks. We're talking racing on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Hey, Will, I think Debbie's got a question for you.
Yes. Hey, Will, can you tell us a little bit about your sponsors?
Yes, ma'am. So first off, I would like, thank my dad for giving me this opportunity, to come back racing. I've been sitting out a year, and I just want to give a big thanks to him, just letting me come back and giving me this opportunity to drive again. And another huge shout out to Benji Cole at CTC Innovations and Train Chassis. He took that car and went through it and got everything dialed in and made it really like a Cadillac to drive. I'd like to thank Denton Brown with Oh So Good Water for all that he does for the program. Mr. Rod Roberts with Rod Roberts Trucking. Johnny Carswell with Carswell Graydon. Robbie Bilsbury with RPI Suspension. Gus Simpson. David Smith, HST Suspension, and Mr. Dutch Chin with 441 Tire. Without all those guys, helping and providing that sponsorship, we wouldn't be able to do it. But real big shout out to my dad, for just giving me this opportunity to drive these fine machines he has.
Well, Kenny's been in it a long time, and those names you rattled off of guys that have been in those cars over the years, man, that's just kind of the who's who of local dirt track racing. So he has done well. Mike was telling me something. We got about 30 seconds here, Will, for you to answer this. Mike was telling me during the break that you and James Michael were standing there talking about you were just about ready to go out on the track, and how you going to run me? I'm going to run you like you run me. So how do y'all run each other?
Oh, what can I say about old JJ? He races me. I try to do him the same way. It's real fun getting to race out there with your family. I love racing with JJ. Got to do it the first night out and then this past couple of weeks. But it's just real fun. I know he's going to always drive me clean. I'll always do him the same way.
Good deal. Hey, man, it's a good answer, and glad to see y'all out there having fun with each other. Will, thanks so much for being on the program. Again, congratulations to you on that win.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Go get him, Will.
Yeah, Will Harris has been our guest. Hey, it's time now. Brooks and Dunn going to talk about a little something. They're talking about your next broken heart. Man, I remember my first broken heart when I was growing up. Oh, it just hurt like crazy. Here's Brooks and Dunn on My Country 99.3 WCON.
All right.
You remember that, the first boy that broke your heart or the first girl that broke your heart? Oh. Literally, I cried. My heart just hurt.
It just hurt.
And I was just such a naive kid.
You were probably 12 or something.
I probably was, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. So now we were talking about Will and James Michael. You've been around both those guys since they first started. Now, Will has really come on strong here lately. He started out kind of like Earnhardt Jr. we was talking about, hitting everything on the racetrack, but he's come on as a strong little driver.
Yeah, Will's doing a great job. You know, since he started back with Kenny, just 4 or 5 races ago, I guess. Yeah, he has done excellent.
Yeah, that's a good car, too. No doubt about that.
Well, yeah, you can't take a donkey to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. But now, how did it feel for you, Mike, whenever he debuted that Mike Love throwback car? Did you know that ahead of time or what?
Yeah, but I didn't have no idea it would look as good as it did.
Yeah.
That thing was awesome.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
And that brought a lot of memories. When I was announcing those races and that orange 25 would come by, that was just pretty special.
Yeah, well, they did an awesome job on that car. Every nut and bolt on it was brand new.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And James Michael, he's been racing 3-4 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
He does a good job. Really good job.
Yeah, he's had a couple of wins early this season already, I think.
And then, he won the points 3 years in a row or something.
Yeah.
Winder, so that's just his little home track, not far from their house, probably 15 miles maybe. But yeah, Jim's the grandpa of the bunch,
yeah.
So he keeps them intact, so they do a good job.
You've raced a lot of different racetracks, but kind of your home base was Lanier, obviously, and then Anderson, and then when Livonia was asphalt, you raced a lot at Livonia too. So tell us a little bit about your experience at those tracks.
Well, they was all, Livonia and Anderson was dirt when we started.
Right.
And we just raced there and for years. And we started at Athens. And we run down there in 5 or 6 years, and Jim said, well, we're going to have to take you somewhere else. So,
I thought your first race was at Winder, mechanics
well,
race.
that was my first
Oh,
race.
okay, I got you. Okay.
I led on my top on it.
Yeah.
But I learned what not to do then, see, a little bit. But, yeah, Anderson and Livonia. We used to race Anderson Friday night, Livonia Saturday night, and Winder on Sunday night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Winder ran on Sunday back then.
Yeah.
Okay, I know when Hartwell ran on Sunday a lot. Remember, Hartwell ran dirt
Yeah,
on Sunday nights a lot.
Had a lot of good races with Aaron Gailey up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, he was a good guy.
Yeah, he was.
Hard
No
racer.
question. Now, of course, later years, Anderson paved a year after Lanier did. I think it was 2 years after Lanier.
No, before.
Wow, that was before.
Yeah.
Anderson paved before Lanier did. I thought it was a
and
year
then
after.
The next year, Bud paved, and then that's when we got thrown in that Winston Racing Series.
Right, yeah. And then, of course, Livonia paved several years after that. They'd been dirt for a long time, and then paved when Hendricks bought the track. They paved it.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of races there. That asphalt never got worn out. It never got run on enough to wear out.
It broke in good.
Yeah. And then Aaron Gailey tore that up. I remember talking about on the show, I talk about Aaron tearing up the track in more ways than one.
Yeah,
He got out there on the motor grader and took up all the asphalt after it had been paved and put it back in dirt many years after that. I told him they should have put a 21 on the side of that motor grader. What do numbers mean? Numbers are very important in the racing world. We see that in NASCAR. People walk around, they'll just have a 9 on the front of their car, and everybody knows what that is, or a 5. And so numbers are so important. I was talking to Sterling Helm last week, and I said, what's it like to have somebody tattoo your number on their body? And, for a late model, for a driver that's not even running late model, that runs modified street, for somebody to tattoo their number on them, that's pretty bold. But numbers mean so much, and your number, of course, is iconic, that 49. Jonathan's taking it to another level, I guess. But when Bud ran it, and then when you ran it, 49 is just an iconic number around this area for racing.
It is. And all I can tell you where that number came from is my dad said it had to do with the gold rush.
Yeah, I asked him.
49.
I asked Bud about that one time, and he said Gold Rush 49 in Landen, and he said that's why the car was gold, and I never put all that together. Yeah. So, and I know you've told me the 25s because nobody else had that number.
Yeah, that's it. Didn't nobody have it, so we took it up, and it stuck pretty good for 25 years.
And I know Kevin Stevens has told me that the 52, it's your number reversed, but it's also one of Deborah's numbers and one of your numbers. That's sort of the way he got the 52 out of the 25 and the 55.
Yeah.
Man, we're going back a lot of years here. By the way, Mark Chancey's coming up on the show. Didn't his mama race in the Powder Puff division at Lanier?
I'm not sure.
Debbie Chancey, didn't she? Or she
Yeah,
run?
Debbie
Yeah.
did.
Is that Mark's mama?
I don't know.
We'll
But
have
she
to ask
definitely
Mark when he
raced.
comes on. Yeah, we'll ask Mark when he comes up. Donnie Poole's watching. Boy, there's one that
Johnny Poole.
Mike, he tells you to get much closer to the microphone, Mike.
All right, Donnie.
People can't hear you. What do we got going?
30 seconds. Also, real quick, have we gotten any more comments about the sound, or does everything?
No,
seem
everything
okay?
sounds
Okay,
good right
cool.
now. Everybody's
Cool.
giving me thumbs up. So,
All right.
but my phone is showing low power. Can you believe that? I wasn't planning on using the phone. I was going to use the iPad. So we're giving low power. So we may lose power here. Golly.
Also, Landen is on the line. We're good to go.
Landen. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Thanks. How much time we got?
15.
15 seconds. Okay, so we got time for another story. So whenever I was at Lanier, it was always cool. I think I mentioned this at the banquet. Laquita was my zipper checker.
Charles? Oh.
I'll tell that story later.
It's pedal to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And it's time now to have a first-time winner on. Landen Morgan is on with us. We had him on last year, but he hadn't won a race this past weekend. Just an outstanding weekend for Landen Morgan. Landen, man, congratulations. What a big weekend it was for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it definitely was a big weekend. I'm still smiling about it.
Well, are you still trying to get the mud out of your driving suit?
Yeah. I've had to wash that thing like 3 times.
Yeah, somebody was telling me last week after they got their first roll in the mud, they had to take a pressure washer for the longest to try to get it all out of their driving suit. So good luck with that.
Man, I might do that.
So tell me about how that first race was. When you came off turn 4 and saw the checkered flag flying in the air, what were your emotions at that moment?
Well, the first thing I saw was my lady's car was junk. She had hit the wall right there coming off of 4. So when I come around the corner, first thing I saw was her, and I was thinking, well, how am I going to get around her? So I had to dive to the bottom of the track. Then I realized I had took the checkered flag. Man, I was beating the fire out of the roof. Like, I was excited. So
it was a bittersweet moment. You were sad for her, but happy for you, right?
Correct.
All right, man. So we got some folks here that have been to Victory Lane a time or two. Debbie, what was that like first time you took a win?
That was, I started racing on dirt the second half of '86, and then I was in women's division, so it was like the third or fourth race of '87.
Yeah.
In the women's division.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was during the day.
Yeah.
It was one of those day races.
So, So Landen, let's talk a little bit about your season and how it's gone for you so far prior to this win.
Well, I was getting better, and I was stuck kind of like in the same spot. In the past 4 races I had entered before this win, I had finished third in every one of them. So I was like, man, when is this going to change? So I was like, man, I can't do no better. Can I not do no better? And I done a little bit of consulting with fellow competitors. Found out I was on the wrong tire. We got it fixed. Got on the right tire. We come back out to Toccoa that night, and it ended up working for us.
Well, I tell you what, that makes a difference whenever you get everything going in the right direction, and it's sort of like all of a sudden everything just clicks, and that's what happened for you this weekend. So what's coming up this coming weekend for you?
Well, I think we're going to take this weekend off and go watch everybody else tear the stuff up in Winder. I've never been to Winder, so I just kind of want to go check it out.
Well,
it's a big old race.
Yeah, it's a big old racetrack that gets tight in a hurry when you get down to turn 3. So good luck with that. Hey, Landen, we got to take a quick break and come back. Are you good with that?
That's fine.
All right, Landen Morgan is our guest. Got more to come with him in just a few moments. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We're on My Country 99.3 WCON.
If you're looking for late model used car parts, look no further than Peach State Auto Parts on the Royston Highway in Cannon. That's in the Gold Mine community on Highway 29 between Hartwell and Royston. Scott Heumann and his staff also buy scrap metal, copper, and aluminum cans. They will pick up your junk cars for free. If you need roll-off bins or containers for business or construction, call on Peach State Auto Parts and Recycling. Call Scott today at 706-245-4407. That's 706-245-4407.
You know what Debbie and I don't do anymore? Clean our pool. That's because we've hooked up with Aquabot of Georgia. The Aquabot robotic pool cleaner is #1 in pool cleaning technology. This amazing robotic technology maps the pool floor, scrubs and microfilters your water down to 2 microns, saving you time and money on expensive chemicals and water. You simply plug in the tangle-free power cord, drop it in the pool, and walk away to enjoy your free time. That's it. Stop by Aquabot of Georgia in Gainesville at Chastain Janitorial and see our friends Shane and Debbie Chastain. They'll hook you up. They've served North Georgia for 30 years. Check them out at aquabotofgeorgia.com. Your pool cleaning days are over.
Bowling Farm Supply is like a step back in time. Remember when you go to the feed store with your dad or granddad? Well, at Bowling Farm Supply, you can relive those great memories. Of course, they have feed, seed, and fertilizer along with soil, hay, and mulch, but they have so much more. A massive selection of knives. Names like Case, Buck, Boker, Hen, and Rooster, and handmade knives. Vase jugs, antiques, Zippo lighters. It's more than just a feed store. It's a unique shopping experience. Bowling Farm Supply is located at the corner of Highway 198 and Damascus Road in Homer. Stop in today.
If you're looking for the best shock package for your 602 late model, modified street, stock A, or open wheel modified, then Joey Dorsey at Racecraft Performance is who you need to call. Joey's helped many top name drivers achieve success by building their shocks to be the best on the track. Choosing from famous names like AFCO, Bilstein, Orem, Fox, and I'm Penske. From dialing your shocks to spring rate adjustments, Joey knows all the tricks of the trade. And don't forget your racing fuel. Racecraft Performance has that too. Contact Joey Dorsey at Racecraft Performance at 706-436-2294 or see him at Modern Tire in Hartwell. M&M Used Cars in Jefferson has a great selection of late model full-size trucks. Check out their extensive truck inventory, full-size diesel and gas models from which to choose. If you're looking for a low mileage, late model full-size truck, chances are they have exactly the one meant for you at M&M Used Cars. Check out the extensive inventory at MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. That's MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. Or stop by at 1312 Washington Street in Jefferson and see them in person. Apply for credit right on the website. 24-hour chat available as well. M&M Used Cars in Jefferson.
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And Charles Head is joined by Debbie Lunsford Love and Mike Love tonight as co-host. So happy to have them here in studio. And Landen, I think Debbie's got a question for you.
All right.
Sponsors.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, tell us about your sponsors.
Well, I just got started, so as much as I'd like to read y'all a great big list of sponsors, I ain't quite got none yet. It's all out of pocket as of now. Actually, hunting sponsors, so...
Well, that's fine. The way you're doing, you'll be having more come on board, I'm sure, anytime soon.
Yep, start winning, and there'll be people wanting to put some money in your hands. That'll happen somewhere down the road, for sure. So now, you're going to Winder this week, are you?
Not with a car. We're going to go watch the Seahawks race, because apparently it's supposed to be the first time they've ever come down there, so I want to see how that goes before I take a car.
Yeah, those Seahawks front-wheel drives, that is a great little division. Kelly Carlton does a wonderful job with that series, and you're going to have some great racing going on with those front-wheel drives in the Seahawks division at Winder this week, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I've never been to Winder at all. Never even spectated, so I guess we're just going to go hang out and see what the place is about.
Well, let me tell you, Stephen House has done a tremendous job. He's painted the walls. He's upgraded it. The lighting is new. You can hear Woody all around the racetrack with the PA system now. It is just a fine, fine facility, and my hat's off to Stephen House for doing a great job there.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah. So, Landen, now, when will you be in the race car next?
I'm thinking we're going to be back in the car for Toccoa, not this week, but next coming week, because Mike something in the driver's meeting about it might be the start of the points. I believe I'm going to chase points over there for the remainder of the season.
Gotcha.
Just take my woman's car to the other racetracks like Hartwell, Livonia.
Now, you keep calling her your woman, so whose car are we talking about?
My lady Haley Connors.
Oh, Haley, okay, gotcha.
She just started this year. We built her a car over the off season.
Yeah.
Because she was back to drive mine. And I was like, I don't know about that. So we just went and bought her one. She's enjoying it. She's just getting faster and learning as we go.
Yeah, tell her to keep off that wall in turn 4.
I know it, right?
Hey, Landen, listen, man, we appreciate you being on the program. Congratulations on that win, and it's so exciting to talk to you tonight. Thanks for being on the program.
Thank you.
Good luck, Landen.
Yeah, Landen Morgan has been our guest. Hey, right now, it's time for a little Clay Walker, and this is what every race driver wants to do. If I could make a living doing this, is that what it is? My Country 99.3 WCON, here's Clay Walker.
All right.
Yeah, Jackie Jones told me one time, he said the only person he'd ever seen come back with more money than when they started was Billy Ballou. He said Billy Ballou got in a truck racing deal, and he said he went to Charlotte and came back home, and he had more money after he sold that truck deal than he had when he went. And he said, my hat is off to anybody that can make money in NASCAR.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
So it is not a money-making deal normally, that's for sure. So anyway, I don't know how much, how true information that Billy had given to Jackie about that.
Well, you might have a point there.
Anyway, great guys, both of them. Jackie Jones, one of my great friends in racing, and just in general in life. I tell you what, I think the world of Jackie Jones, and Billy Ballou's become a great friend too. He's a good guy. So check them out. And am I allowed to tell this story? I want to tell this story. Y'all put your fingers in your ear if this offends anybody. It'll only offend Billy, I think. But Jackie told me, he said Billy Ballou came up to me and said, he called me and he said, listen, Chase Elliott wants to borrow a van to go down to the Snowball Derby and for just for the crew and everything. He said, have you got a van you can let him borrow? And Jackie said, yeah, I got one. He said, tell Chase to come over here. So Chase and Bill go over there, and while Chase is in there in Jackie's office, he said, by the way, can I have a second van? I need to take my merchandise too. And Jackie said, sure, no problem. So they get down there, and Jackie said he's watching Snowball Derby on TV, and on the back of the Chase's car, it says, transportation provided by Billy Ballou Motorsports. He said all he did was call me. I furnished everything. Jackie, if you're watching, I hope you don't mind me telling that story. But anyway, that Billy Ballou is a promoter. You know, you got to be a promoter. That's for sure. So you were a promoter. You were a great promoter. You helped promote Lanier Raceway like nobody I knew.
Hey. We got like 5 seconds.
No. What are we doing now?
NASCAR.
Oh, we're doing NASCAR report. Okay. All right. Never mind. We'll do NASCAR. And for some reason, this is blocking my camera. It doesn't see you, Logan.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap. Presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And, of course, it's time for the NASCAR report right now. NASCAR race this past weekend, Sonoma, California. You know, that racetrack has been on the schedule for a long, long time. One of the few road courses that's been on for that long. Logan, what you got on the NASCAR report tonight?
Well, over the weekend we saw, as they were at Sonoma,
Sonoma.
My, I'm tongue-tied, all kind. You see, this is what happens when we don't have the show for a while. I get all tongue-tied, and I can't just keep up with what I'm saying. Anyway, Kyle Larson took that home with Michael McDowell and Chris Buescher taking second and third there. And there were quite a few cautions that race, weren't there?
More than normal for a road course.
It was
highly unusual. The first half of the race was just littered with cautions. Afterwards, it kind of slowed down a little bit. A lot of hurt feelings at the end. I think Kyle Busch was kind of aggravated at the end with Ross Chastain. Of course, most everybody at the end of every race is aggravated at Ross Chastain. Seems like
that finish there saw Kyle Larson. He's still in front in the standings, and you know who's in second? Our boy Chase Elliott. He's just what is it? 14 points behind Kyle.
And Chase had that fourth place finish at Sonoma.
And so that helped him out as well.
They did an interesting pit strategy. They just waited a long, long time to pit the car, and it wound up putting him and Larson back up front. So good job there. Big NASCAR news today. You want to tell us what happened with Martin Truex?
Well, he officially announced his retirement as of today.
Yeah, and Eric Jones, driver of the 43 car for Legacy Motorsports, Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty for that group. He's going over to drive the 19 for Joe Gibbs, so that'll be pretty cool. Eric Jones, by the way, is a former winner of the World Crown 300 at Peach State Speedway. So Eric Jones is going to go over there for that. So that'll be interesting. NASCAR this weekend goes to Iowa, and it's called the Corn 350. It's funny, Debbie and Mike, when I was teaching that course for Brenau University on the history of racing in Georgia, and it was called From Moonshine to NASCAR. Now, these guys in Iowa, they probably measure their corn in bushels or tons or whatever. But you know, all of our guys around here, they always measure their corn in gallons. And so that's kind of the way we measured corn back in our day. So anyway, it's the Corn 350 coming up in Iowa. First time at Iowa Speedway. It's good for those folks to finally get a NASCAR race. One thing I'm excited about is Atlanta has 2 races again now. You know, they went to one race for a long time there, gave one up for Kansas, for Kentucky Speedway. And so now NASCAR is back in Atlanta. They're going to be the first race, the night race for the playoffs coming up. So they got a big race coming up there. So anyway, we got a lot more to talk about with NASCAR. Right now, is it time for our giveaway? Is that what we do right now?
Not yet. We do that after the...
okay. Logan's having to keep me straight here. So right now, we are not doing that, but that is the NASCAR report. Let's check out Keith Urban right now. He and Eric Church have got something to say. Raise them up here on My Country 99.3 WCON. It is Eric Church and Keith Urban. All right. So now we're on radio. Boy, we kind of blew that, didn't we?
Yeah, that was my fault. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep here.
Yeah. I understand. Did you have to work all night last night?
Yeah. Well, kind of. I ran part of the game last night. What is today? Yeah, today. My brain's all... Yeah, I was here for a good point of last night and been here all day because I had to run the Braves game earlier today.
That's right. Braves were on earlier.
Yeah, Braves were on earlier. They won that one, actually.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Man,
yeah.
They hit
it was like a 5-game losing streak. Snapped that.
Yeah,
Game 3 of the Orioles. They'll be back home tomorrow. Who are they? Tampa Bay? I think they're taking on tomorrow. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, let's hope the Braves can keep it going.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, we want a good thing going there. So get by your phones. We got a giveaway coming up in just a little while after this song. So let's talk about NASCAR racetracks. Do you run bush races anywhere besides Lanier?
I went to South Boston, but we had mechanical difficulty during qualifying. So I really didn't get to race that race. And I hated that because it was so much like Lanier.
Yeah.
I felt like I could do well.
Yeah. It's a good little racetrack. I was listening today on the NASCAR channel on Sirius XM, and they were talking about racetracks that needed to come back that used to host NASCAR events. And I was thinking about how we used to pack that place out for the Busch races at Lanier, and what a great time it was. You know, we had Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte and all those guys come in. Jeff Gordon told me one time, he said he hit the turn one wall at Lanier. His throttle hung coming out of 4. And he said, it's the hardest hit I've ever had in my entire racing career. He said, much harder than that bad wreck at Talladega. He said, I hit the wall there. He said, I thought I was going to go through the scoreboard and into chicken houses. So, I mean, he hit it a ton. That was in the Baby Ruth car back in the That was in the Ford back in the day.
He was awesome in that Baby Ruth.
He was, man.
Yeah,
he was
made
good.
up like a lap or 2 laps under green.
Yeah.
And he had the hood off. And they made him pit and put the hood on.
He still came back and won it.
I think he did.
Yeah. So now, Mike, you got to get close to the microphone because we're going to tell a story here. So, Debbie, there is a story going around that Mike Love has told me many times about his crew pitting your car and you going out and winning the championship over him. I want to hear your side of the story first.
Well, that's pretty much true. It was the last race of the points, but now I had to miss 2 races earlier in the season due to a outside wall total catastrophe. So I missed 2 races. So at the end of the season, last race, I was 8 points behind. Anyway, ended up getting in something, got a flat tire, came in. I didn't really have a pit crew except usually about one guy, and he couldn't change the tires by himself. So Mike's crew, Steve Pearson and Jim Love and all the guys at that time, they leaped out there when I came in and stopped and, just took over. Changed the tire, went back out, went to the rear, and had a good running car, and fortunately was able to get close enough to do away with those 8 points.
Do away with Mike.
Yes, do away with Mike.
That's an easy, nice way of saying that.
Yeah.
So now, whose brainchild was it to do that? Was it Pearson's or Jim Love's, or who decided to go in there and change your tire for you?
I really couldn't say because I wasn't with them, but all I know is when I went in, it was either the end for me, which I thought it was, and they just jumped out and started changing like they were my regular crew.
That was a Days of Thunder moment, right?
Right.
So, Mike, what's your story on that? What did you say to your crew?
It's the same. The guys, they just, like I say, when Debbie rolled in, I went by and I looked, and they was fixing her tire. I said, okay.
I started to say, you had a Linda Blair exorcist moment. Your head turned all the way around. What the heck are they doing on her car?
And she won the points that year. Is that when you finished 7th in the region?
Yeah, 7th, and I think David Smith finished 6th.
Oh, really? How about that? Yeah.
So we went to Nashville for that.
Now, that was always fun. You got to be on Ralph Emery's show with him, didn't you?
Heck, yeah. He was sort of like us. He didn't know what to say. I'm talking to some racers here. He was used to talking to singers.
Was Ralph a racing guy?
No, I
didn't appear to be.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. He kind of wondered what we was doing on his show, I think.
Well, I know we all were watching that because we couldn't wait to see you on there, and you didn't have a whole lot to say, Mike.
Imagine that.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be on there. Larry Phillips won the national title, and he didn't feel like getting out, so they put Mike in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, now, you had some great battles with Larry Phillips over the years. For the championship, did y'all ever race against each other?
No.
Didn't. But you were always at that top of the list, yeah.
Larry, he was awesome.
He's from Missouri somewhere? Yeah.
Missouri.
Schrader and all that bunch.
Right.
Wallace.
Was he a house car for one of the chassis manufacturers?
I think he done his own chassis.
Did he?
Yeah. He was a racer.
Now, talking about chassis, you were a devoted, was it left-hander or Dillon? What?
I started out with, first car I had was John Harrison.
Okay.
And then when I moved to late model, super late model, we went with Dillon.
Yeah.
Ray Dillon. And then we ended up with a Port City car, and at the end of 91, Butch Miller came for the Budweiser Super Bowl, and he won the race. So my dad and I thought, well, that's the car to get for late model. So we didn't let him leave the place. We bought the car on the spot.
Well, what chassis?
Port City.
That was Port City. So everybody told me that nobody could drive a Dillon car except Debbie Love. What was the deal with you and Dillon's? Why did you like them so much?
Oh, they ran good.
But everybody else would say they couldn't make them turn at Lanier.
I guess it was Dad. Dad could figure out anything if you had it long enough.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
All right, we're on in 10.
I see you doing something over there, Logan. What's happening?
We're on in 10 seconds.
What are we doing?
We're going to fire the re-intro, and then, the intro, and then we're going to do the giveaway.
Giveaway. Okay, we're going to do fourth caller, okay? Yeah. Pardon me, folks on Facebook. You already got a preliminary of what caller we're going to do.
All right, here we go.
A little behind-the-scenes stuff.
Thins, Gainesville. This is the Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON. Presented by Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland. From NASCAR to local tracks, it's everything you need to know with your host, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame announcer, Charles Head.
And I'm here with Mike Love and Debbie Lunsford Love. We're having a great time on the Champ Show tonight. So glad to have y'all here. Have you had fun so far?
Thanks, Charles, for having us.
This is radio. Make sure you don't shake your head. Say yes.
You have to speak, man.
Oh, it is going to be a great night. Hey, we got something to give away right now. If you've ever been to Atlanta Motorsports Park, man, what a great facility that is. They've got such a great kart track up there, and it's kart rentals. You can go up there and rent karts anytime you want to and drive around at 55-plus miles per hour on that most elevation changes anywhere in the nation on that kart track. So we've got we've got a ticket to give away. If you'll be our fourth caller right now, we've got a ticket to give away for that for free kart rental at Atlanta Motorsports Park, and hopefully you'll get that and go take your buddies up there and enjoy yourselves at Atlanta Motorsports Park. What an outstanding place. Love going there. They do such a great job. The big track, we got a whole division of Teslas that run, believe it or not. You can't hear anything, but you can just see them going around the track and hear tires squalling on occasion, but you don't get to hear anything because there's no engines running. Crazy racing. Anyway, Atlanta Motorsports Park is the place to be for kart rental racing, so get up there and enjoy yourself. Fourth caller, we'll take you right now. Here's the number, 706-778-0993. 706-778-0993. Caller number 4. And while that's going on, let's listen to a little Confederate Railroad. Racetracks and trashy women, does that go together? Anyway, here they are on My Country 99.3 WCON.
All right.
Pit lizards, that's what we used to call them.
I was going to say, I didn't know if I should say that or not.
Oh, golly.
That's what I've heard.
I've heard that a time or two myself. So, now, Mike, when did you run your first asphalt race? When Anderson paved?
No, when Lanier paved.
Okay, you didn't run Anderson when he paved then?
No, because, we had dirt cars.
Right. But you still ran dirt cars on asphalt, didn't you, when you started?
Those things were fast.
Yeah. I know Gary McCoy always told me he still holds the track record in qualifying at Anderson because it's new asphalt and flat-sided dirt cars.
Mm-hmm. Well, when Bud paved,
Oh, sorry.
When Doug Kinnemer and me and 3 or 4 more, we used to run like racing, 13 cycles.
Wow.
13, 20, and 30.
That's like sprint cars almost.
Yeah, but them flat-side cars, and we had Lyle's motors. They were too shabby. But, man, first asphalt race I run 13 laps. I blistered right rear tire.
Wow.
So, something had to be worked on. Me or the car won. But we won the region that year, so we got it figured out, I think.
Yeah,
the guys did. I was just hanging on.
Yeah. Well, the word on Mike Love was, now this is from the announcer's booth that people would tell me, I know he's brake checking them, we just can't catch him. That was always the word in the tower.
That don't go right, does it?
Are you going to comment on that or not?
Well, I don't see why you brake check them if you can't catch them.
Okay, we'll go with
but
that.
That works. I've seen people use it. Matter of fact, I used it on Jason Keller about halfway down the back straightaway one night. But,
let me tell you, you're talking about promoting. I was talking about promoting a while ago. Here's a Bob Harmon story. We all know Bob Harmon was the promoter of the All-Pro Series, one of the great promoters of all time. Yep. And Harmon told me one day, Jason Keller wrecked going for the Constellation race for the All-Pro at Peach State. And Jason wrecked trying to get the lead and win it. Top 3 were going to transfer, but he wanted to win the darn thing. And so he wrecked and did not make it. And some fans came up in the tower, and they wanted their money back for the next night because Jason wasn't going to be in the race. So we're huge. We okay on time?
Yeah, we got 45 seconds.
Okay. Said they're huge Jason Keller fans. Said we only wanted to come here to see Jason race. He's not going to be in that race, so we want our money back. And Harmon said, let me tell you, he said Jason Keller would want you in these stands. He said all these friends out here are friends of Jason, and he said they're going to be racing hard. And Jason Keller would tell you, you put your butts in those stands and stay there and enjoy. And they said, oh, okay, and walked out.
Jason and Steve Addington, that bunch, they was really good to race with.
You know,
really
Addington, he was on the ball. He crew chief for Shane for a while, and then also he went to NASCAR for a long time. Steve Addington. Yeah, sharp guy, man.
We're on in 7.
Oh, 7 seconds. What are we doing?
We're going to go straight into the show, and then you're going to do your results and everything. And we're going to announce the winner.
We do results, and then we go straight to Mark Chancey, or what?
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And it's time now for our results from this past weekend. Our results are brought to you by Mid-South Cage Equipment, and here is Debbie Love to tell you about some of the results from this past weekend.
Okay, of course we had Kyle Larson winning the NASCAR race at Sonoma. And at Toccoa Raceway in the limited late models, Drew Benefield was the winner. Followed by in the 602 late models, we had Nick Sellers taking the checkered flag. Modified Street was Billy Buffington. Stock B, Hayden
Collins, yeah.
Okay, and open wheel modified, Joe Caples took the win. Stock 4, it was Jamie Massey. Toccoa Pro Trucks, we had Ricky Jones taking the win. And in front wheel drive, Landen Morgan. And in the 602 Charger, we had Eli Reese.
Yeah, a couple of those, we have names that we remember, don't we?
That's right.
All right, so let's check out what happened at Hartwell Speedway. This was Friday night at Hartwell, by the way.
Okay, and at Hartwell Speedway in the limited late model, taking the win was Austin Reed. In the 602 late model, we had Eli Reese, who we talked to a little while ago. Modified Street, it was Jimmy Johnson. Stock 8, Mike Johnson. Stock 4, Tyler Riddle. And front-wheel drive, it was Justin Harris taking the win. The Young Gun winner was Hunter Carey. And the Sharp Mini Late models was Broughton Boatwright.
Isn't that a great name, Broughton Boatwright? Seems like it ought to be on Gilligan's Island as one of the Broughton Boatwright. So here's what happened at Winder Barrow Speedway. Dink McKeon, man, what a race Dink and Chris Woods put on. What an outstanding win Dink got there as he won the limited race. Chris Woods did get the win in the Hobby 602. Tyler Knupp won the Modified Street. Mark Chancey, who's on the line with us, getting ready to talk to us in a moment, won the Stock 8s. Justin Jacobs got the Stock 4A. Stock 4B went to Mason Peppers. Boy, he's been on a roll as of late. And Justin Harris won the front-wheel drives. Now, here's some notable drivers from our area that have done well over this past weekend. Of course, Bubba Pollard won last night at Berlin, Michigan. Blake Kraft won the Topless Outlaws at North Georgia Speedway. He was in Wesley English's number 18 car with train chassis. Kenny Collins won at Cochran Speedway in Eric Stifley's car. I never know how to pronounce Eric's last name. Anyway, he won that one at Cochran. Danny Ledford won at Sugar Creek. And, of course, Jonathan Davenport won the Dream at Eldora. So some of our local guys really doing well this past week. Mark Chancey joins us right now on the program. Hey, Mark, we were just going over this while ago. Are you related to Debbie Chancey that raced at Lanier?
Not that I recall.
Oh, well, see, we had her as your mama. We had all this great story going on here.
No, not that I know of.
All right, well, anyway, Mark's one of my favorite guests, and I always tell him this. I don't know why, but he's such a great guest, and we always have him on at least once a year. Got to see you at Toccoa the other night. That was good to run into you over there.
Yes, sir. It's always good to see you.
Well,
we don't get to see each other too often, but when we do, it's always good to catch up on time.
Yeah, so let's catch up on a win right now. Got the first win of the season under your belt, right?
Yes, sir, finally.
Well, tell me about the season, how it's gone so far.
It started off slow. I mean, I had some health problems at the first of the year. We had to do some surgery, and then we just been battling a few motor problems here and there. But we're finally getting everything in the right direction, thank God. Well,
it sounds like you're going in the right direction for sure. I know that Wayne Martin and the guys over there have just been putting double duty into that track. It is just in such good shape. Matter of fact, I see Wayne is joining us right now, and he's saying hey to Debbie and Mike. How about that? Wayne and Jessica join us on Facebook. Wayne just does such a tremendous job on getting that track prepared.
Yes, they're doing a good job. I mean, constantly making improvements. I mean, as long as you're going in the right direction, not the wrong direction, everything's going good.
Yeah, well, it's just good to see Winder under Stephen's work there. It's going real well, so we're proud to see that happening. So take us through the race. Tell us how you got the lead.
We qualified fourth, and we rode third for a couple laps, and then got beside Chad Huck on the outside. I'm not sure if the leader broke or they got together, whatever happened to turn 1 and 2, and we was lucky enough on the outside. We got by both of them. They both crashed out. So, and after that, I said my nephew, he got the second chase. I mean, they're having a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, being a young guy coming up, but
He was there. I mean, he's putting pressure the whole time, but luckily enough, we eased on out to the front and get the lead.
Well, anytime you can get a win over Chad Puckett, you're doing pretty good. That's a fast race car.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no question.
They definitely got their stuff together, him and Tim.
Yeah, they do. No doubt about that whatsoever. So now this weekend, you're going back to Winder and defend that title?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to stay close to home. Like I said, I don't live about 6 miles from the track, and it's hard to pass up to go, from there to somewhere else. And I mean, just to getting home late, and then just, like the pace finally, they're on scale with everybody else. So,
yeah.
It just makes more sense to stay close.
Yeah, now you're going to be invaded this week with a whole bunch of front-wheel drives. The Southeastern Hornets series is coming in this weekend, so get ready for some buzzy bees coming your way.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Now, you ought to put a good show at that tight bull ring.
Yeah, that'll be a great show. I tell you what, when MMSA comes, it's always a great show, so the little Hornets are going to do a good job.
That's right.
So now let's talk about what's coming up on holiday weekend. We got, the July 4th weekend. Everybody's going to be doing special races. I know Toccoa's going to race on the 3rd of July. That's sort of their standard time. I think that's on a Wednesday, Thursday this week. Maybe it's a Thursday. Yeah. No, it's a Wednesday because the 4th is on Thursday. So what are you going to do as far as special races on holiday weekends like that coming up?
We might try to bring the new car back out to Toccoa. I mean, I got to work the 3rd and the 4th, so it depends on how I got to work on the 3rd. But yeah, I'm going to try to get that Malibu back out. I mean, we've been fighting with it for a while, and I think we finally got it in the right direction the other night at Toccoa. So we're getting there as a team.
Good deal. How'd you come up with the number 20?
Well, my brother started the year before I did driving cars, and he picked 21. I thought, you know what, I think it'd be pretty cool, just kind of keep the same number status there. So it was either 20 or 22, and we had, Red Ball Harrison there in Bethlehem back then, so I went with 20, and you know what? There you go.
How about that? That's sort of like a CL and Harold Pritchett thing with a 16 and 17. They did that for many years.
Yeah.
So now, as you look toward getting that stockade up to speed, anything else you want to do to the car, you think is in pretty good shape right now?
I mean, you always wanting to chase more speed, but I mean, Camaro is pretty on point. I mean, we've had it good for the past couple of years, and I want to get that Malibu out, like I said, start doing that metric car more, but, it's hard to go away from old plates.
Yeah, I tell you what, those Camaros, everybody is it a leaf spring or a coilover?
It's a leaf spring.
A leaf spring.
So many people stay more consistent.
Yeah, so many people love those old leaf spring Camaros. I know drivers that just swear by them, and others say they wouldn't have them at all. So it's just everybody's personal preference, I guess.
That's right.
Hey, Mark, hang on just a minute. We got to take a quick break and come back for more, okay?
Yes, sir.
Mark Chancey got his win in the Stockade at Winder Barrow this past weekend. We'll be back with more with him in just a few moments. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Mid-South Cage Equipment is one of the largest builders of poultry houses in the Southeast. At Mid-South, they welcome your questions about new technology in the poultry growing industry. From construction to final equipment installation, Mid-South Cage Equipment is your one-stop shop for the poultry grower. Shore-time bins and augers, Ziggy drinking systems, and cool air handling systems are just a few of the top brands available at Mid-South Cage Equipment on Highway 29 north of Royston.
If you want him dead, call Fred. I've been saying this for years. That's because Fred Justice and the staff at Justice Exterminating can make your home pest-free. Justice Exterminating is your local full-service pest control company, serving all of Northeast Georgia. Debbie and I had huge problems. Bugs, roaches, rats, we had them all. Till Justice Exterminating came on the scene. They handled our pest problem in no time flat. We wouldn't go a single month now without our visit from Justice Exterminating. Give them a call today for a free inspection. 706-968-8519. Justice Exterminating will get you pest-free, I promise. Remember, if you want them dead, call Fred at Justice Exterminating.
Saturday night, Toccoa Raceway is back in action. The weekly racing program features limited late models, the 602 Sportsman, the Modified Streets, the Open Wheel Modifieds, the 602 Chargers, the Stock 8s, the Stock 4s, the Toccoa Pro Trucks, and the front wheel drives. The high banks at Toccoa Raceway will leave you at the edge of your seat. That's racing Saturday night at the oldest dirt track in Georgia, at Toccoa Raceway. For 69 years, it's been your place for top quality racing every Saturday night. The high banks race at Socoa Raceway await you.
What a load! That's what you'll be saying when Gus Simpson pulls up with your load of gravel, topsoil, or dirt. Gus has been in the trucking business with his family his whole life. Now Gus has branched out into his own trucking company. Gus Simpson Trucking maintains a fleet of 15 late model dump trucks sitting at the ready to bring your load. Call them for a quote. Write this number down, 678-780-0197. You can also check out the Facebook page at Gus Simpson Trucking.
For the last 30 years on the Champ Racing Show, I've been telling folks about Napa Auto Parts and that great Napa know-how. Now there are even more locations for great aftermarket and genuine replacement parts to serve you. Napa Auto Parts stores are located in Toccoa, Clayton, Cornelia, Commerce, Jefferson, Elberton, and Hartwell in Georgia. And in South Carolina, find Napa stores in Westminster, Walhalla, Seneca, Easley, and 2 locations in Anderson. The best parts at the best prices. Napa Auto Parts and that unmistakable Napa know-how.
Napa
What's this yellow stuff on my car?
It's that time of year. If pollen is all over your car, what better solution than the $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash? Ask for the Champ Show Car Wash, and you'll get it for just $5.
What's this red stuff on my car?
Well, if you visit the local dirt track, then you might just need to head over to Bulldog Car Wash and ask for the Champ Show $5 car wash. Yes, it's happening every day, just $5 for a car wash, but you have to ask for it. Make sure to request your Champ Show $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash, across from McDonald's in Toccoa.
Weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk with Mary and Joel on Monday mornings and talk about the racing over the weekend. We'll be talking about the race coming up from Iowa this coming Monday. And by the way, Joel Williams, happy birthday to him, celebrating his birthday today. What's Joel today? About 75? No. Anyway, Joel's one of our, I'll tell you what, I told him today, he is the consummate radio professional. I think the world of Joel Williams, good guy. Debbie, I think you got a question for Mr. Chancey.
I do. Mark, could you run through your sponsors for us?
Oh, yes, ma'am. First, I'd like to thank Patterson's Auto Repair and Towing. I got the Welder, Atlanta Auto Diesel, Fudge Peanuts, Georgia Sprinkler, Smiley's Grading, Fences by James, Lord's Garage Doors, Tills Electric, Lawson's Funeral Home, Ace Hardware Watkinsville, Tal Diesel, Casper Painting, Cox Mobile, and Chili West Photography. A bunch of 2 cars.
Yeah.
Wow. And I tell you what, another one of those who's who of dirt racing sponsors you got on there. A lot of folks that we recognize on that car.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, I've had the same for quite many years. I mean, greatly blessed to have the same people wanting to help me out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that racing is a team sport. It's not necessarily all drivers. So who all works with you on the car?
Definitely we want to give all the glory to God. I mean, that's first and foremost. But my wife, for helping me give up all the time she does in the shop and the weekends and not going on vacation. And I got my boys, I call them my crew chiefs, Landen and Joshua and Easton and Parker, and then Drew Lee, Chip Patterson. There's a lot of people that come by, but they're the ones that are mostly there every day, day in and day out.
Good deal. Well, listen, Mark, we appreciate you being on the program. It's always good to talk to you. You know, some good things are happening when I get you on the radio. That's always an important thing. You usually won a race, and that's a good thing.
It was nice talking to y'all 3 legends, of course.
Well, not a legend here, but we got 2 racing legends beside us there for darn sure. There's no question about that.